Welcome back to Face the Nation. Just want to apologize to our viewers there. Congressman Himes did not have a bad case of the hiccups. We have technical problems. That's why he was getting interrupted there. It's called Live View. That's the technology being used, and it wasn't working. So apologies for cutting that short. You're back with me now in studio, and we're going to talk to Maryland Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen, who is here in person.
Good to be with you, Margaret.
We'll not have those problems, we hope. But let's pick up on that very same point that we were discussing with Congressman Himes there. He says that no information was being shared with the top people who have oversight, like himself. What leverage do Democrats have to force the administration to treat Congress as a co-equal branch of government?
Well, Margaret, it's hard when the Republicans in Congress are totally AWOL, right? When they want to give Donald Trump essentially a blank check because they continue to have majorities, of course, in the House and the Senate. Obviously, in 2026, if Democrats regain control of either house, we will have the gavel. But in the meantime, we need to go directly to the American people and just make it very clear that in this case, it's my view that the Trump administration's been lying to the American people. This has never been about stopping drugs from coming to the United States. We all support stopping drugs. This, from the beginning, has been about getting rid of Maduro, grabbing Venezuela's oil for American oil companies and Trump's billionaire buddies. That's what this is about. That's why Donald Trump spent so much time yesterday talking about oil.
20 times the word oil was used in those remarks. The defense secretary spoke to my colleague, Tony DeCopel, and used the word oil about 6 times. There is a lot of focus on those natural resources, but arguably, isn't that what China, Russia, Iran, others are also trying to do, which is to extract their own benefit from this country? You know, what is the counter to that point that the administration would argue?
Well, the counter is you don't invade a country to grab their natural resources, right?
Do you consider this an invasion, even though, although it's unclear because
let's
Senator
put it this
Cotton
way.
both said there were boots on the ground and that there aren't?
Well, they had boots on the ground, right? They took out the leader, and now they're demanding access to Venezuela's oil. That's what this has been about. I mean, Donald Trump, claimed that he'd been against the war in Iraq from the beginning. That wasn't true. But what we do know is he said, well, having gone into Iraq, we should have gotten their oil.
Right.
This is what drives Donald Trump. And our servicemen and women perform magnificently. But I think it's outrageous that the President of the United States puts American lives at risk so big American oil companies and his billionaire buddies can profit.
But arguably, there are also critical minerals there. There are all sorts of natural resources in Venezuela that the drug cartels even were getting in the business of, that the Chinese were there trying to get. How do you do both things, both corner the market on things that are of vital national security interest, those kind of minerals, and still actually maintain the principles that you're arguing should be upheld?
Well, the United States is working, and under the previous administration also worked to secure, critical mineral supply chains. Unfortunately, in many of these areas, the Trump administration actually has surrendered to China. I mean, if you look at, for example, clean energy and all those issues and batteries, we've essentially surrendered that market to China. What you don't do, Margaret, is you don't put American lives at risk to go in and grab oil resources to benefit the billionaires that support Donald Trump.